Yo, the craziest part about the Fyre Festival is that it wasn't even their main event. They were trying to launch this app called the Fyre app. The Fyre Festival was just supposed to be some commercial for it, in a sense. Now, for those of you that don't know, the Fyre Festival was this disastrous festival that happened a few years back. I couldn't even call it a festival, and you'll see why in a moment. See, Billy and Ja Rule had a problem. They weren't thinking. This was literally the equivalent of you going to your boy or your girl and be like, yo, you want to start a festival? Like, yeah, bro, I was just thinking the same thing. Sprinkling your boy is a little bit of a con artist, and then you're ready to go. So our story begins with a fateful encounter. Ja meets Billy at some club that Billy's running, but it's not really like a club. It's like these influencer events that Billy be running. Ja like, hey, you do this? Billy like, this is me, bro. He said, we should partner together. Billy said, I was thinking the same thing. Now, funny enough, the events that Billy was running, they were kind of scams too. It's credit card stuff. He tells Ja Rule, bro, we not thinking big enough though. Ja Rule said, what do you have in mind? He said, well, bro, you're an artist, right? Ja Rule said, I am an artist. He said, why don't we make, and this is actually a pretty good idea. He said, why don't we make an app that allows events to book artists through the app? Ja Rule's like, oh, that's a pretty good idea. I know some artists that could sign up for it. He said, great. He said, but we need a lot of people to start doing it. I'm like, yeah, true. They're like, so why don't we host our own giant event where a bunch of artists come and we say, hey, we use the Fyre app, everybody. Great idea. So he gets a few investors to start up. How did he get investors? Well, that's easy. Let me let you in on a secret. The only thing you have to do to get investors is walk into a room like this and start doing some PowerPoint stuff. I'm serious. Okay, I'm not serious, but it's a lot simpler than it seems to get investors. Investors don't want to miss out on the next Facebook or the next Uber, so they always take chances on apps. It's relatively low risk for them. They just throw their money at people that say, hey, I'm gonna do it big, here are my projected numbers. Well, how did he get projected numbers? You go to this business and say, hey, they were about to give me this amount of money. You're not gonna give me this amount of money? They give you this amount of money. You go to another business and say, hey, these two companies are giving me this amount of money. What you finna put down on it? Keep going, you make a bunch. Anyway, he decides to use the couple million he has on promotion. So he hits up Kylie Jenner, he hits up Emily Ratta, whatever her name is, and he hits up Bella Hadid, and he tells them, yo, y'all finna do this Instagram post. People finna say, oh, that's cool. They finna go to the Fyre Festival. They say, sure, why not? They do the post. Everyone goes, oh my gosh, it's Kylie Jenner. Let's go. People lose their minds over this ad. They're like, we need to go to this festival. It was such a big deal that Kylie and them got sued because they realized the power that influencers had. They got sued because they didn't put that it was an ad. It made people buy a bunch of stuff. People got screwed, so it kind of falls back on them a little bit. They had to pay back some money. Billy said, y'all hype? They said, yeah, we hype. He said, cool. Y'all got to pay a couple thousand. They said, no big deal. I just saw Kylie Jenner. It was actually Kendall Jenner, but I'm in too deep now. I'm finna just keep saying Kylie. So people start paying for early tickets, and here's where it starts to get wicked. He announces, okay, the festival's gonna happen in 4 months. Now, I don't know if you know anything about festivals, but from when he told people it was gonna happen to when it was gonna actually happen, it's a little bit short amount of time. Only because he hadn't started on anything. His team went up to him and said, Billy, did you just say 4 months? He said, yes. They said, we can't do this in 4 months. He said, yo, bro, the negativity killing my vibe. Ain't that right, Ja? Ja said, yeah. He said, we finna do this. Lock in. His team said, yeah, let's do it. He said, I'm finna hit y'all up in a little bit. They said, yeah. 2 months goes by. They go, Billy, we need to start. He go, start what? They go, the festival that's finna happen in 2 months, Billy. He said, oh yeah, let's start right now. What we need to do for a festival? He said, okay, first, maybe we should start with the music acts and stuff. He said, Ja got that. Ja said, yeah. Okay, what about where they gonna perform? Oh, they need a stage. Yeah, how much it costs to build a stage? I said, Billy, why are you asking me that? Do you have the price for anything else? Mm-mm. I said, well, you should probably get to looking. He goes, sure. But I know if I believe in myself, anything possible. Ain't that right, Ja? Ja said, yeah. So they call some dude named Gavin or something like that. Billy said, what's good, my guy? Hey, how much this whole thing gonna cost? It's just gonna cost $50 million. Billy said, hangs up the phone. Calls back. He said, yeah, I think my phone was broken. You said, what can I do with 4 million? He said, you can stand on it and look taller. Stand on my money, I look taller. All right, you're not helping. He hangs up. He says, okay. Calls the stage people, says, I'm gonna need y'all to build a stage. They said, we can't do that. He said, y'all haven't even asked for a price. He said, we can't do that in 2 months, no matter if you give us $10 billion. Oh, okay. His team comes to him and says, Billy, it's over. Postpone the festival until November. He says, yeah, that's not a good idea, and we're not gonna do that. So we're just gonna do it my way, and we're just gonna keep on going. Believe in yourself. Matter of fact, you're fired. He starts firing anybody who tells him, Billy, this is not a good idea. So he starts scaling a bunch of things down. Matter of fact, the dude on the phone told him you can buy tents. Now, this was a problem because he promised people villas, like massive like house things. And if you wanted to get some tents on the side, you can get some tents on the side. He didn't say the whole thing was gonna be tents. Didn't have a choice. He makes the whole thing tents. Now, at this point, while this is going on, there's a website dedicated to telling people, get your money back or don't spend your money. This is a terrible, terrible idea. But they start giving information that only his team would know. So he starts tripping. He calls everybody into a meeting and he starts freaking out on them, saying, who's snitching? Everybody quiet. They said, Billy, I think you got other things to be worried about than who's snitching. He said, you fired. But you right. Ja said, yeah. He said, where we at with the acts? He's like, I got Ray Shremmerd, I got Migos, I got everybody. Great, this is still gonna be a good festival. Ja said, and then I got Migos and Racer. Billy said, you already said that. He said, no, you didn't let me finish. And then I got Migos and Ray Shremmerd to tell me I'm gonna hit y'all next time, and they canceled. Billy said, why don't you just start with that? He said, my fault, you was already getting bad news today. But we do have good news. Blink 182 finna come. Billy go, okay, I like Blink 182. We still on. They said, sir, we not going. Postpone the festival. He said, give me one reason why. They said, well, the venue actually just canceled, so it's not gonna be on the island you thought it was. It's gonna be on like a parking lot. Give me 2 reasons why. The plane driver you hired to check out the area for you, he went, he slept in the tent, said it was the worst experience of his life, and he's begging you to cancel it. Plane driver fired. Give me 3 reasons why. They said medical services and food. Food? Oh, snap. He said, just hire somebody from the island. They said, sir, we actually did that before you told us to. He said, now y'all go-getters. He said, they canceled on us because they said, you stupid. You fired. He said, hire somebody else. I don't got time to think about if they finna eat or not. They said, your investors just canceled. He said, investors? Man, the YouTuber just told you. That's easy. I'm finna get another one. He leaves. He goes to some investor. He walked in like this. He said, invest. You walked in confidently enough. $3 million. But if you don't give me 500,000 of it in the next 2 weeks, I'm finna cancel on you. Cause I'm hearing that you stupid. First of all, I'm not. You fired. He said, I don't work for you. Meanwhile, he was broke. So what he does is he hits up everybody who was ready to go to the festival. A bunch of people dropped out at this point. But the people who were gonna go, he tells them that they need to use bracelets to pay for everything. His team immediately tells him, that's not gonna work because we don't even have food. We can't even pay for Wi-Fi, broski. He tells them, you fired. You need to give me my money, y'all. They said bracelets to pay for stuff? Let's do it. But I already paid for my ticket, sir. He said, no, you not giving me money for a ticket. You giving me money to load into your bracelet so you can pay for things. I said, that doesn't sound like a bad idea. So he takes that money, he gives it back to the investor. He looks solid right now. Next day, festival finna start. Right before it starts, a massive storm hits the island. It's as if he has been smited by God. The tents he had in place rained on, mud everywhere. He said, let's do it, bruh. Day of the festival, he picks up ticket holders in some nice plane. They're like, ooh, we about to live fancy. Them boys hit the beach. They tell them, y'all want to get food or y'all want to go to your tents? Some people went to get food, some people went to the tents. People who went to get food got this. People who went to the tents got this. They said, well, at least we get to see Blink 182. Blink 182 canceled before the event. Now what followed next was absolute chaos. They there was no one really there to guide them or anything. So people start running and claiming tents. They start taking stuff from other tents, bringing it to their tents. Some dude starts peeing on tents to claim his territory and all that. I'm serious. There was no lights. People was getting their bags stolen. The security was really mean and really pushy. Why? Because they weren't getting paid. No cell service. Is basically jail. Everyone's like, heck no, we're leaving. So they start getting their stuff to go to other places in the Bahamas. But the Bahamas is booked because he booked Billy and Ja. They booked the Fyre Festival on the weekend of this massive boating event. Massive boating event. It literally takes up all the spots in the island. They have nowhere to go. So people say they want to go home. There's no music, there's no food, there's no water. So the Bahamas starts giving them like emergency flights to like get off the island. But the flights end up being super chaotic. Bunch of people on the island from the other event, and there's a bunch of people from this event, the Fyre Festival, trying to get out. So flights start getting canceled. They end up getting stuck there in the terminals. Some dude passes out because it's super hot. And that's when things start looking bad. Because pictures like this, videos of the dude passing out, all over the internet. People are going, what's going on in the Bahamas? Billy? Ja? Y'all go, yeah. Billy go, Billy, you gotta say something. I didn't do it. I say, here's your statement, stupid. He go, thank you, you fired. A bunch of stuff happened out of our control. It rained, y'all. So we're gonna do another one some other time. We're gonna pay for people to get off the island. Deuces. Sir, there's another note under that. Bahama police, we coming for your ass. Stay right there. Oh, we gotta go, y'all. Yeah, this wasn't a good look for the Bahamas. They weren't very happy with Billy and Ja. Especially for the fact that the people who built everything, they were from the Bahamas. And they didn't get paid. The Bahamas as a nation literally had to come out and apologize to the world, saying, we didn't do it, but our bad, y'all. Ja Rule says the same thing. He said, this is in capital letters. He says, not my fault. Everyone said, Ja, shut up. So Ja has to disappear for a little bit, leaving everything to Billy. Billy goes, look, team, we in this together. I know I've been difficult, but y'all stuck with me. By the way, I'm not paying y'all. Billy, say that one more time. By the way, I'm not paying y'all. Y'all want me to speak up? Y'all acting like I'm the bad guy? Oh, that's all, Billy? No big deal. He goes, see, we still locked in. They immediately begin to snitch to the public about everything. Every little detail. How do you think I know all this? They tell it all. He didn't pay nobody for nothing. They literally had to start GoFundMes for the workers in the Bahamas, the people who made the meals and all that. But then Billy does the stupidest thing that he's done in this whole video. And I know it's hard to top, but he announces that he's gonna do a Fyre Festival too. The FBI literally says, Billy, come here. The FBI throws down the hammer. But while the FBI is solidifying their investigation, another court case is going on. Actually, like 8 of them. Because Billy's getting sued by everyone. Investors, workers, people. California. They literally just threw down a number. California said, give us $100 million. Ja Rule said, damn, that's tough. They said, Ja, bring you in all the cases too. Ja Rule says, no, I'm suing Billy. He says, this isn't my fault, y'all. Billy conned me as well. But there's a problem with that, Ja. Since they didn't treat their team members right, they got snitched on. Documents come out where Ja's telling all his artist friends, yo, this is gonna be trash. Y'all might not wanna stay in the area. So he knew it was gonna be a disaster, but he let people do it. Anyway, Billy said, that's not criminal. Actually, it is. This is called fraud, which means that he promised people something, told them to pay for it, but didn't deliver on the promise. Now, Billy's only course of action, are you listening? Yes, I promised you something. Yes, you paid for it, but I didn't know how bad it was gonna be. It's not my fault. And he just gets away with being an idiot. But remember, he pissed everyone off. So he loses like all his cases. Now, like I always say on this channel, there are 2 types of cases. There's criminal cases, then there's civil cases. Civil cases is like we're suing you. Criminal is like you're going to jail. Civil already happened. He's paying hundreds of millions of dollars. Now his criminal was his bigger problem. Because remember I told you the FBI took his case. and they don't like to lose. And this was probably the easiest case in FBI history, not because of all the Fyre Festival stuff, because Billy's posting online him and his girl dripped out, designer, all that, nice apartments and all that. FBI said, Billy, how you afford all that? He goes, I found it. So they do another investigation, and it turns out that he's doing another fraud scheme while he's getting investigated for the Fyre Festival fraud. You see how that's stupid? He's selling like fraudulent tickets to people under a different name, because at this point his name is plastered everywhere. So the FBI makes him pay like 50 million. He goes, 50 million? Man, it could have been worse, his lawyer said. Billy said, you want to tell me something? His lawyer said, well, I got good news and I got bad news. Good news is you're going to prison. Billy said, what's the bad news? The bad news is you're going to prison for 60 years. Billy said, 60 years? His lawyer says, no, you're going to prison for 6 years. You see how 6 is better than 60? Billy said, you need to work on that. And you fired. Don't even worry about it. I got my money. I'll see you in jail, Pookie. Billy said, Pookie? He goes, oh yeah, that's what the inmates was calling you when. All right, you're gonna find out. So Billy goes to prison, but Ja Rule kind of makes it out unscathed. Kinda. See, his name and reputation is always gonna be tied to this, really. He made it out by saying, I'm just the hype man. I was just dancing around. It was all Billy. The people weren't going for it, but the courts let him slide. But thankfully, it's all over. Psych, stupid. Billy came out. Billy got out of prison. He said Fyre Festival 2 is officially finna start 2024, baby, 2024. And then he moved it to later in 2024. And then he moved it to a couple different islands. He said, I'm thinking about 6, 7. I don't really know yet. Y'all wanna go? Don't go.